What's going on YouTube? Boss Jacoby here, back again with another competitive gaming video. And this time it's a 4v4 MLG variant on the map Summit. And as you guys can tell, it's domination. So if you guys have known my channel for quite some time, you also know that I post a lot of this kind of gameplay where I talk about domination on Summit or firing range or whatever the map may be. But today I want to talk about MW3 because that's the next big thing. That's what I want to cover next, and hopefully it should be an exciting competitive game. So, anyways, I want to talk a little bit about my expectations, thoughts, and how it's going to fit into MLG and the competitive side of gaming. So, first and foremost, guys, from what I've heard, from what I've seen, there was an article where Robert Bowling actually said that he kind of admitted something where he said that in MW2 they tried to go for all the knickknacks, or I don't know the exact term, but all of the flashy things where you have like all these different perks, all these different ladders and perches that you can get onto, so much vertical gameplay where you go up ladders and there's 3-story buildings and all that stuff, and all this equipment, and he just they went all out, and he basically admitted that perhaps that wasn't the best thing to do. And although they sold, excuse me, a record number of Black Ops, or excuse me, Call of Duty copies at that time, he wanted to bring it back to the roots of Call of Duty 4. And obviously, if you play competitive and ever played Call of Duty 4, and you should be rooting for just that. You want them to go back to Call of Duty 4. The maps were simple, the game was simple, the game was fast and fun, and besides a few small problems here or there, it was an exceptional game and a revolutionary game. So he did know that they're going to try and decrease the amount of vertical gameplay, not to a point where it's all one story, but to a point where it's not overdone like it was in MW2. And I think that's going to play a huge factor in how well MW3 does in the competitive side of things. Because what happened in MW2 was there were a lot of different places to camp. There were a lot of spots to watch, the spawns. For example, I think he noted on High Rise, where you could just get up on the helicopter, or even on the I think the metal bars with the barrels, and just look into each spawn from there. Or Robert Bowling said that Infinity Ward or whoever's making MW3, they are going to make an effort to kind of prevent that kind of stuff. They want to make it more like Call of Duty 4, District, maps like that, Vacant, where it's pretty flat. I mean, Vacant, is there even a 2-story building? I don't think there is anywhere. And I think that's really fun. It limits the camping, and it just makes the game more fast paced. So that's something I want to see. I'm also glad to see that the MP5 is back to the COD 4 version of it. It's a little bit different, but it's not the MP5K, which a lot of people seem to dislike here in Black Ops and in MW2. So I'm really glad to see that. That was by far my favorite gun. Excuse me. During Call of Duty 4, I really like that gun, and I'm glad to see that it's back. Hopefully, the guns will be a little bit more balanced. For me personally, though, I don't mind if one gun trumps all, and it seems like it's really hard to make a game where that's not the case. Even in MW2, you had the UMP, you had the TAR, the ACR, the FAMAS. The SCAR was even good. You saw a lot of pro players use it, namely Lyra used it. I actually saw him use it quite a bit. And there weren't a lot of guns that were being used, and I think that this game, Black Ops, got a bad rap because it seems to be only the FAMAS. Although even now, after the patch and stuff like that, seems that the AUG's being used more. Seems that the Spectre, the 74U, more guns are being implemented. You see the SPAS or the SPAS or whatever you want to call it, is being used as well. Even at pro circuit events, I saw, I don't know exactly who it was, but somebody was using the SPAS on Grid S&D and just going nuts with it. Now, is it an every map gun? Obviously not, but it's a really good gun, and I think that even on Black Ops, it gets a bad rap. I don't think that it's really deserved. The gun balancing isn't perfect, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. Now, with that said, I do hope that there are improvements in MW3. I hope that you can use essentially every gun, competitively, and not really be at a disadvantage. I think that would be something cool, because there are a lot of guns that I want to use, but I know that if I do, I will have a much harder time. And in competitive, it's all about winning, and so we're kind of stuck with the FMOS because that gives us the best chance and stuff like that. So again, guys, just to recap real quick, because I do want to jump into the gameplay here for a second. MW3, I hope the maps are simple. You know, one story, maybe two at certain spots at the most. None of this three-story, buildings like on, God, I forget the map. Favela, like Favela on, I know it wasn't an MLG variant map, but Favela on MW2 had like 8-story buildings. It was insane. So, you know, I hope they kind of limit that, if not just remove it altogether. I think that will definitely not only make the game more fun for casual players, but make it much more suitable for the competitive players. So into the gameplay, guys. This is the second side of a GB Summit domination. We lost the first side by about 28 points, I believe. So, you know, we're really close. We're right on the edge. I think we're up by 24 at this point. So we're trying to hold off this A and B site. And you're going to notice here in just a second, I get taken out from top control right here, and our whole team is about to go down. And I want to show you guys something. This is desperation at its finest. You'll see reputed right here. Zim's up top here as well. They all get taken out. I spawn here in Gen. Watch your minimap. They will all get taken out here in just a second. I hurl a nade up. What a random nade. Gets one kill. I saw the second guy. There was a third guy on it. I ran out of bullets and was able to Makarov him right there. We're up by 30 points. Had he killed me, we possibly would have lost the map and the game battles match altogether. So I just wanted to point that out. That was a huge clutch. I didn't do well at all in this game. Our team certainly kept us in the game, and then when I had the chance and right there I did, I was able to execute. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary about MW3 and this exciting gameplay. And if you did, make sure to hit that like button. It really does help me out a lot. And thanks for viewing, guys. I'm out of here. See ya.